Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Brown with Resolution Audio, and in this video we'll be covering the integration features between the Cantata Music Center and the Cantata C50 Integrated Amplifier. Naturally, either of these two devices can be used with an existing system with other components, but when used together, a few little features become enabled. All of this information is contained in the user manuals. We just wanted to show it to you in a more visual manner, hence this video. To start with, all of this integration happens through a cable which connects the two devices together. It's what we call the Cantata link. One of these cables ships in the box with C50 amplifier. While you can still use the devices without the cable, we strongly recommend that the Cantata link be used, and the reasons why will become clear in just a moment. And while this may look like an ordinary phone cable, it's slightly different in its configuration. So it's very important that you only use this cable to connect the two devices together. If you ever need a longer cable or a replacement cable, please contact your dealer or Resolution Audio. I'll go ahead and connect the cable to the Music Center, and I'll power on the devices. Good. Okay. With the cable in place, several features are now activated. First off, the Music Center takes over the handling of remote control commands. This allows you to place the amplifier out of sight if desired, or on a lower shelf where the remote control might not normally reach it. The mute button mutes the speaker level outputs in the amplifier rather than the Music Center. Also, the display brightness changes the display on both devices, like that. And the Cantata Music Center bypasses its internal volume control, setting its output to maximum. Volume control is then handled exclusively by the C50 amplifier when the Cantata link is in place. Now, while the changes in the volume level are displayed on both devices, only the output level of the amplifier is being changed. If the Cantata link cable is not present, the remote control will adjust the volume level in both units, which can be a little confusing. There's another important point here. With the Cantata link in place, the Music Center sets its output to full volume and shifts speaker control to the C50 amplifier. If you have an additional amp connected to the Music Center, this means that full volume output is going to be sent to that other amplifier. Just something to be aware of. Last but not least is something we call the Music Center input, and this happens on the amplifier. The goal is, no matter which input the amplifier is currently set to, choosing a different music source on the Music Center will switch the amp to choose the Music Center as its source. What do we mean by that? Let me show you. Currently, I have the Music Center set to input D on the amplifier, and you'll see a lowercase d on the display. I'll press and hold the input D button on the amplifier for about 5 seconds, and the lowercase d changes to uppercase. At that point, this indicates that input D is now the preferred input for the Music Center. Now let's say I'm listening to a source on input A of the amp, and I decide I want to switch to a different source on the Music Center. If I change sources here, it changes sources on the amp. This setting is retained even when the unit is placed in standby mode. If at any time you want to change which inputs are being used for the Music Center, or you simply want to turn off the automatic switching, simply press and hold the button again for 5 seconds, and the display will return to lowercase. Like that. Well, there you have it. All of the great features you gain when using the Cantata Music Center and C50 amplifier together. Thanks for listening.